What if the reason he keeps pulling away has nothing to do with your beauty, your personality, or how much he cares about you? What if the real reason is that you have been giving too much of yourself away too soon? Listen carefully. A woman who knows her worth does not spend her life trying to convince a man to recognize it. She does not chase attention. She does not beg for consistency. She does not compete for a place in somebody's life. She becomes the kind of woman whose presence is valuable because she has learned that her peace is more important than anyone's temporary attention. And that is the queen mindset. The queen mindset is not about playing games. It is not about pretending you do not care. It's not about ignoring a man just to make him jealous. It is about becoming so secure within yourself that you stop accepting behavior that makes you question your worth. Because when you stop chasing someone, you finally give them the opportunity to reveal whether they actually want to walk toward you. Think about that. When you are constantly texting first, constantly checking on him, constantly asking where things are going, constantly trying to fix every moment of distance, you never get to see his natural effort. And when you do all the work, you can mistake your effort for his interest. That is why the queen moves differently. She does not force, she observes, she does not panic when his energy changes. She pays attention. She does not immediately assume, what did I do wrong? Instead, she asks herself, what is his behavior telling me? That one question can change your entire relationship life. Because a woman who understands her value does not become emotionally destroyed every time a man becomes distant. She does not immediately start sending 5 messages. She does not write paragraphs explaining her feelings to someone who has already shown that he is not listening. She takes a step back, not because she wants to punish him, but because she refuses to abandon herself just to keep somebody else close. And there is something incredibly powerful about that. When a man realizes that your attention is not guaranteed, he begins to understand that your presence is something he has to value, not because you are manipulating him, because you finally stop giving unlimited access to someone who was giving limited effort. There is a difference. The queen does not say, how can I make him chase me? She asks, am I behaving like a woman who respects herself? That is the real transformation, because once you start respecting yourself, your standards change. The conversations you tolerate change. The relationships you accept change. The way you respond to disrespect changes. And most importantly, the way you respond to silence changes. A woman who has not discovered her worth becomes terrified of silence. She thinks silence means rejection. She thinks distance means she is losing him. She thinks if she does not reach out, everything will fall apart. But the queen understands something different. Silence reveals. Silence shows you who reaches for you when you stop reaching first. Silence shows you who notices your absence. Silence shows you who values your presence. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop filling every empty space with your effort. Let him wonder. Let him think. Let him decide. Because if a relationship only survives when you constantly push it forward, then you are not building a relationship. You are carrying one. And queens do not carry grown men emotionally. They walk beside men who are willing to walk beside them. There will be moments when you want to break your own boundaries. You will want to text him. You will want to check whether he is online. You will want to look at his social media. You will want to ask, why are you acting different? But before you do, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself one simple question. If I already knew my worth, would I still be doing this? That question will save you from so many emotional mistakes, because sometimes you are not missing the person. You are missing the attention you receive from that person. Sometimes you are not afraid of losing him. You are afraid of being alone. And sometimes you are not fighting for love. You are fighting against the feeling that you were not chosen. But baby, listen to this carefully. You do not need to be chosen by someone who cannot recognize what you bring to the table. You need to choose yourself first. That does not mean becoming cold. It means becoming selective. You can love deeply without losing yourself. You can care without chasing. You can miss someone without contacting them. You can want a relationship without accepting crumbs. You can be soft without being weak. You can have a big heart and still have strong boundaries. That is feminine power. And when a man meets a woman who operates from that place, something changes. He realizes she is not desperate for his attention. She has a life outside of him. She has goals. She has standards. She has confidence. She has peace. She can enjoy his presence without making him responsible for her happiness. And that is what makes her presence different. She is not trying to convince him to stay. She is simply living in a way that makes staying with her meaningful. There is a huge difference between being wanted and being needed. When you need someone to validate you, you become afraid of losing them. When you know who you are, you can walk away from what does not honor you. And that ability to walk away is not a threat. It is freedom. So stop asking yourself, how do I make him chase me? Start asking, how do I become a woman I would never abandon for anybody? That is where your power begins. Because the moment you stop abandoning yourself, you stop tolerating people who make you feel abandoned. You stop begging for replies. You stop explaining your value. You stop accepting inconsistent behavior. You stop chasing closure from people who created the confusion. And you start becoming the woman who says, I want love, but I will not lose myself to get it. That sentence changes everything. Because the queen mindset is not about making a man obsessed with you. It is about becoming so grounded in your own identity that whether he chases you or not, you remain whole. And ironically, that is often when people start treating your presence differently, because confidence is self-respect is felt. Boundaries are felt. Peace is felt. And when you stop trying to prove that you deserve love, you begin attracting situations where you do not have to prove it at all. So if he pulls away, do not panic. If he becomes quiet, do not chase. If his effort disappears, do not replace it with double effort from your side. Watch. Observe. Allow his actions to speak, because the queen does not need to force the truth out of anyone. She simply gives people enough space to reveal it. And once you learn that, you will never look at love the same way again. And this is where the real queen mindset begins. You have to understand that your value does not increase because a man suddenly starts chasing you. Your value was already there. His attention does not create your worth. His distance does not destroy it. His rejection does not define it. And his return does not prove it. You were valuable before he noticed you. You were valuable while he was talking to you. You are valuable when he is silent. And you will still be valuable if he never comes back. That is the mindset that changes everything. Because once you truly believe that, you stop making emotional decisions based on somebody else's behavior. You stop waking up wondering whether he texted. You stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. You stop analyzing every word he said. You stop asking your friends what his silence means. You stop creating stories in your head. Instead, you become calm. You become observant. You become intentional. And suddenly you are no longer reacting to him. You are responding to life. That is maturity. That is confidence. That is power. A queen does not need to announce that she has standards. Her behavior communicates them. She does not say, you better respect me. She simply refuses to stay where respect does not exist. She does not say, you need to appreciate me. She stops overgiving the people who consistently take her for granted. She does not say, you need to chase me. She stops chasing people who are not moving toward her. And that is why her energy feels different. She is not trying to control anybody. She is controlling herself, her emotions, her reactions, her choices, her access, her time, her attention. That is real power, because anyone can lose control when they are hurt. Anyone can send an emotional message. Anyone can say things they regret. Anyone can chase someone who is walking away, but it takes strength to sit with your emotions and still choose dignity. It takes strength to miss somebody and not run after them. It takes strength to care about someone and still say, this behavior is not enough for me. It takes strength to walk away from potential when reality keeps disappointing you. And you need to remember something. Potential is not a relationship. Promises are not consistency. Words are not effort. Chemistry is not commitment. And attention is not love. Watch what a man consistently does. That is where the truth lives. If he says he cares, but never makes time for you, pay attention. If he says he wants you, but keeps you confused, pay attention. If he disappears and returns only when he wants attention, pay attention. If you constantly feel anxious about where you stand, pay attention. A queen does not ignore patterns just because she likes someone. She respects reality more than fantasies. And that is one of the biggest lessons you can learn. Never fall in love with what somebody could become while ignoring what they are showing you today. because you can waste years waiting for potential to turn into reality. You deserve somebody whose actions already match the relationship you desire. Somebody who communicates, somebody who makes effort, somebody who does not make you compete for basic attention, somebody who does not leave you guessing whether you matter. And if that person is not currently in your life, do not panic. Being single is not a punishment. Being alone is not failure. Sometimes being alone is the season where you finally learn how to enjoy your own company. You discover your goals. You rebuild your confidence. You heal your heart. You improve your life. And you become so comfortable with yourself that you no longer accept somebody simply because they are available. You begin choosing based on quality, not loneliness. That is when everything changes, because desperation says, anybody is better than nobody. The Queen says, the wrong person is worse than being alone. Read that again. The wrong person can drain your energy. The wrong person can destroy your confidence. The wrong person can make you question your worth. The wrong person can turn love into anxiety. So do not be afraid of losing someone who is not good for you. Be afraid of losing yourself while trying to keep them. That is the real danger. And if you want a man to value your presence, start by valuing your own. Protect your time. Protect your peace. Protect your attention. Protect your standards. Stop giving people unlimited access to you when they have not earned it. You do not have to respond instantly to every message. You do not have to explain every decision. You do not have to be available every second. You have your own life. Live it, go out. Work on yourself. Build your dreams. Law with your friends. Take care of your body. Learn something new. Build your career. Strengthen your mind. Become so focused on becoming better that you stop obsessing over whether somebody else is paying attention. And here is the beautiful part. When you genuinely become busy building your life, you stop performing confidence. You become confident. There's a fake confidence says, I will ignore him so he misses me. Real confidence says, whether he misses me or not, I am going to be okay. Fake confidence says, I will post something to make him jealous. Real confidence says, I do not need to prove that I am desirable. Fake confidence says, I will disappear so he comes running. Real confidence says, I will step back because I refuse to chase someone who is not meeting me halfway. That is the Queen mindset. And if he comes back, do not immediately forget everything that happened. His return is not the same as his transformation. Anyone can come back. The question is whether he comes back differently. Does he communicate better? Does he make consistent effort? Does he take responsibility? Does he respect your boundaries? Does he show you through actions that he understands your value? Because you should never be impressed simply because someone returns. Be impressed by changed behavior. A queen does not reward temporary effort with permanent access. She watches consistency. She watches character. She watches actions. And she gives her heart where it is safe to give it. That is not being difficult. That is being wise. You are allowed to have standards. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to decide that something is no longer good enough for you. And you do not need everybody to understand your boundaries. The right people will respect them. The wrong people will complain about them. Let them. Your job is not to convince everyone to respect you. Your job is to respect yourself enough that disrespect no longer gets unlimited access to you. And remember this, whenever you feel tempted to chase, if somebody truly wants to be in your life, you should not have to drag them there. You should not have to beg for basic communication. You should not have to compete for attention. You should not have to become somebody else to be loved. The right relationship will not require you to betray yourself. So stand tall. Take your power back. Stop measuring your worth by somebody else's attention. Stop wondering whether he is thinking about you. Start thinking about yourself. Stop asking whether he will come back. Start asking whether he deserves another chance. Stop asking how to make him chase you. Start asking whether he is capable of giving you the kind of love you deserve. That is the shift. That is where the queen is born. Not when a man puts a crown on your head, when you decide you never needed him to, because your crown was always yours. And once you understand that, you move differently, you love differently, you communicate differently, you walk away differently, you choose differently. You no longer chase validation. You become the source of your own confidence. You no longer fear losing attention. You protect your peace. You no longer beg someone to see your value. You let their behavior answer the question for you. And that is the energy that changes your entire life. So if he is pulling away, breathe. If he is silent, breathe. If he is not making an effort, breathe. Do not panic. Do not chase. Do not abandon yourself. Let his actions speak. And while he is deciding what he wants, you decide what you deserve. Because the ultimate queen mindset is simple. I want you, but I do not need you to complete me. I love you, but I will not lose myself loving you. I care about you, but I care about my peace too. I would love for you to choose me, but I will always choose myself. That is the woman who cannot be easily manipulated. That is the woman who cannot be easily forgotten. That is the woman whose presence carries weight. And whether he comes running back or not, she wins. Because she did not lose a man, she found herself. And once a woman finds herself, she becomes incredibly difficult to replace. So wear your crown. Protect your peace. Wear your standards. Stop chasing, stop begging, stop proving, stop settling. Become the woman who knows that love should add to her life, not consume it. Because when you know your worth, you no longer ask people to treat you like you matter. You simply walk away from anyone who refuses to. And that is the queen mindset. That is your power. And that power was never in his hands. It was in yours the entire time.